The series opens in turmoil as players clash violently with guards in a stairwell. Player 145 surrenders, but is executed instantly. Player 246, pleading for mercy for his sick daughter, is shot but survives. A female guard intervenes, telling him to close his eyes if he wants to live. A scanner marks him eliminated, and he's placed into a coffin. Meanwhile, the female guard earns praise from a male counterpart for switching sides. She demands to see the operating room, saying there should be no more secrets between them. Elsewhere in the main hall, player 120 opens a newly delivered coffin. Inside lies Gi-hun, barely alive. While the team search for the missing drone operator, secretly pushed overboard by Captain Park, suspicion grows. Secretly pushed overboard by Captain Park, suspicion grows. Woo-suk tells Jun-ho he saw Park on deck around the same time. Park claims the operator was drunk. Soon after, the man's body washes up ashore. Gi-hun, now recovering, he's awoken by players 149, 007, 222, and 120. Seeing the dwindling survivors, he asks about Young-bae. Silence follows. Gi-hun is haunted by the memory of his friend's death at the hands of the frontman. Guards announce that 35 more players are gone, raising the prize pool to 36.9 billion Korean wons, with 660 million Korean wons per person. A vote is held to determine if the game continues. Gi-hun refuses to vote, forfeiting his say. He then confronts the guards, demanding to know why he was spared. Grabbing a weapon, he threatens himself and begs for death. The guards ignore him. Meanwhile, the front man watches everything unfold. He receives a call from Park reporting they've docked for a new drone pilot. The front man warns, if anything goes wrong, kill everyone, including Jun-ho. The vote causes tension. One frightened player switches her vote to stay. The front man later reports 8 managers and 27 guards lost, demanding immediate replacements. At the incinerator, player 240 coffin is rerouted, marked for organ donation. The male guard escorts the female one through underground tunnels, asking personal questions. She stalls, insisting they talk after she sees the surgical room. The vote results. Majority choose to continue. Player 100 accuses Gi-hun of manipulation to boost the prize. Some applaud him. Player 044 cryptically warns Gi-hun he'll hear the dead screams forever. When she lunges at him, he's restrained and she's dragged away. In the surgical room, the female guard unmasks after being vouched for. But when the operation begins, she turns on the team, fatally shooting the guards. She reveals her past. She once killed her commanding officer. She threatens the medic. Save player 246 or die. Back in the dorm, player 124 takes a pill from Thanos' necklace. The players receive food. Player 333 shares with pregnant player 222. Gi-hun refuses to eat, even when offered food by player 149. Player 007 blames player 388 for returning with ammo, but not using it. And Gi-hun stares silently at player 388. On the ship, Jun-ho marks explored islands. Woo-suk brings him food and questions Park's story, especially about the screwdriver found after the pilot's disappearance. Jun-ho defends Park, but then accuses Woo-suk of partying with the pilot. Their conversation ends abruptly. Later that night, Gi-hun keeps staring at player 388, who wakes up to find him watching. Guards arrive to announce the next game. The front man learns that the VIPs have arrived. As the players ascend the stairs, they pass corpses and bullet holes, gruesome reminders of earlier violence. Players are split into red and blue teams. Each draws a colored ball. Meanwhile, player 246 is stitched up but urgently needs blood. The female guard offers hers. The rules are revealed. Blue team has 30 minutes to hide or escape. The red team must hunt and kill. Red team members who fail to kill are eliminated. Blue team members receive a necklace and key to access arena doors. Red team players get knives. Chaos erupts as some players try to switch sides, fearing they can't kill. On the ship, Captain Park checks in about Woo-suk. Jun-ho lies, claiming he left due to a family emergency. Woo-suk is seen talking in a car with a man about their old boss and a mysterious game of rock, paper, scissors. Player 044, now leading the blue team, urges everyone to stay united. Player 124 tells player 125 they must work together, referencing the woman player 125 failed to save. Thanos' necklace reappears. Player 333 pleads with player 222 to switch sides with him, offering his life in return for her and her unborn child's safety. In a touching moment, a mother and her son strategize. They switch roles, so she hides, and he kills if necessary. She secretly gives him a hidden knife concealed in her hairpin. Red team members attempt last-minute negotiations. Gi-hun coldly rejects player 100's request. Player 388 also tries and fails to switch. Gi-hun's stare rattles him. Player 388 accuses him of playing mind games before the guards separate them. The game begins. Blue team enters a maze-like arena. They have 2 minutes to hide before the red team is released. The mother and son separate, planning to reunite later. Player 333 swears to protect player 222 before they switch teams. As the countdown ends, the red team is released and the hunt begins. Namkyu teams up with Lee to hunt down other players. At the same time, Gi-hun is focused on taking down Tae-ho. After Mr. Park regains consciousness, NAL ends his life and switches his outfit with that of the deceased doctor. Meanwhile, the red team is behaving like wild animals, attacking every blue team member in sight. Whenever they spot someone in a blue uniform, they eliminate them on the spot. One clever old man fakes being on their team and shoves others forward to take the hit. Elsewhere, Yeoju is assisting both Grandma and Junie. Each of them receives a unique key: triangle, square, and circle. With all 3 keys in hand, they're able to unlock any door they encounter. Tae-ho, meanwhile, is on the run, trying to avoid Gi-hun. Namkyu and Lee manage to capture a blue team member and kill him together. But to progress further, they need to eliminate another person. So, they go hunting again. In the process, Namkyu's drug-laced locket falls and ends up with Minsu. Namkyu and Lee continue their killing spree. Namkyu explains that if they wipe out enough blue team players, the red team members will eventually have no one left to kill. In that case, they'll be automatically eliminated after half an hour. This way, fewer survivors would mean more prize money for the rest. Lee, driven by greed, eagerly agrees and begins attacking anyone in sight. Meanwhile, young Shik is paralyzed by fear. He shakes uncontrollably and hesitates before every encounter. Eventually, Gi-hun and Tae-ho come face to face and engage in a brutal fight. Tae-ho, however, escapes by shoving Gi-hun out of the way. Inside, Junie is in the final stages of labor. Grandma helps deliver her baby while Yeoju keeps watch by the door. Shaman finds a mysterious door with 3 distinct locks, each requiring a different key. It's a hidden exit not mentioned before. Realizing this, she begins searching for the other 2 keys. An old man smears blood over himself and lies beside a corpse, pretending to be dead. The red team walks past without noticing. Shaman finds him and brings him along as he holds the remaining keys. Grandma successfully helps Junie give birth, but suddenly a red team player storms in. Hanju draws him away and kills him inside the 3-lock room. Yeoju now has all 3 keys, gifted by Grandma. She unlocks the door and discovers that crossing it means winning the game. She rushes back to alert the others. Just as she reaches the door, Lee stabs her from behind, right in front of Grandma and Junie. Seeing Lee as the killer stuns Junie, Lee quickly pulls Namkyu away, offering no explanation. Yeoju's death leaves Grandma and Junie in deep sorrow, but Hanju had already revealed the secret room. Carrying the newborn, they head toward it in grief. Meanwhile, the old man and Shaman reach the secret door and unlock it. But the old man takes 1 key, walks through, and locks the door from the other side. At that moment, Minsu shows up and murders Shaman. Elsewhere, Gi-hun captures Tae-ho and starts apologizing. He admits he lied about being a Marine officer. In reality, he was just a scared boy who joined Gi-hun's group for safety. Moved by Tae-ho's honesty, Gi-hun decides to spare him. But Tae-ho suddenly attacks again, sparking another intense fight. Grandma and Junie arrive at the secret room, only to be blocked by young Shik, Grandma's son. With just 2 minutes left, and still having not killed anyone, he prepares to kill Junie. Grandma steps in and begs him to kill her instead. She says she's old and a burden, while Junie has a child to care for. But young Shik pushes her aside and charges at Junie. At the last second, Grandma stabs her own son in the back to save Junie. Elsewhere, Gi-hun strangles Tae-ho to death in a fit of rage. Devastated by killing her own son, Grandma breaks down. Gi-hun, overwhelmed with guilt after killing Tae-ho, attempts to stab himself. But pink soldiers stop him in time. The countdown ends. Any red team member who failed to kill is executed by pink soldiers. At this point, it's revealed that 4 of the pink soldiers were actually VIPs who entered the game for the thrill of killing players themselves. All surviving contestants gather in the players' lounge. Nam-kyu spirals into madness after failing to find his drug locket. Missing his regular doses, he begins hallucinating and gets beaten by the guards, much to Min-soo's delight. Everyone is shocked to see Junie with her newborn child. Lee, however, completely ignores her. Gi-hun is restrained again to prevent further self-harm. Meanwhile, NAL covertly sneaks Mr. Park, player 246, now dressed as Soldier 16, out of the compound. Back in the players' area, the results are announced. Only 25 players remain. Each is now set to receive $165 million. The frontman is seen entertaining foreign VIPs in luxury. Since no updates are coming from the surgery room, the chief dispatches a few soldiers to investigate. Jun-ho calls his team and informs them that no one seems to know anything about the ship captain or the missing teammate from the other boat. He tells them to keep a close watch and heads out to check the captain's home. Another vote is held to decide the format of the next game. Most players vote in favor of team play again, some driven by greed, others by fear. When soldiers reach the surgery room, they find other guards dead. Since they never saw their faces, they scan 3 corpses to confirm their identities. However, they don't scan the person wearing player 240 SXS clothes, meaning the real Soldier 16, Mr. Park, escapes detection. The chief is informed about Soldier 16 going missing. He checks security footage and sees NAL sneaking him out. Meanwhile, Jun-ho's drone reaches an island that looks eerily familiar. He realizes it's the same place he had escaped to after his brother shot him, meaning the Squid Game island must be nearby. He informs his team. Back in the present, Grandma begins a quiet conversation with Gi-hun. She comes to speak with him and gently explains that he should no longer blame himself. It wasn't his fault. While sharing her pain, she opens up about her own son's tragic death, how, in a particular situation, they were forced to kill him. Though it still haunts her deeply, she pleads with Gi-hun to protect Yunia and her child, because once she's gone, no one else will be left to help them. Meanwhile, Yusak arrives at the captain's residence. He climbs over the wall and sneaks inside, but a fierce dog chained in the yard growls at him. The dog appears wild and dangerous. Quickly, Yusak breaks a window and slips into the house. Elsewhere, the chief is puzzled by the relationship between No and Soldier 16, so he sends more soldiers to investigate the surgery room. At the same time, a coffin is brought into the players' quarters. That's when it's revealed the grandmother has taken her own life. This leaves both Yunia and Gi-hun heartbroken. Inside the surgery room, a soldier scans the body dressed as player 246 and realizes it's actually Soldier 16. He informs the chief, who then understands the real player 246 is the one disguised in Soldier 16's uniform. He immediately orders his men to pursue NAL. Back at the captain's home, Yusak discovers shocking photos, ones that show the captain with a recruiter. This confirms that the captain is aligned with the Squid Game organization. Just then, the dog growls behind him and attacks. Yusak manages to pull out his gun and shoot it. After stepping outside, he finds a doghouse near the yard. Hidden beneath, it is a stash of money and a pink soldier uniform. But just as he discovers it, the police arrive. Meanwhile, in the players' room, the contestants are summoned to the next game. Yunia's leg is swollen, and she's barely able to walk while holding her baby. Gi-hun picks up the child and assures her, "Don't worry, I won't let anything happen to you or the baby." They enter the arena where 2 gigantic joint dolls are positioned. A loud announcement follows. The game is called Rotating Rope Jump. A narrow track lies between the dolls, with a rotating rope spinning above it. Every player must cross the track within 20 minutes, avoiding contact with the rope. However, the center of the track is partially broken, and a deep pit lies below. If anyone touches the rope, they'll fall straight to their death. Whoever remains behind, even the baby, will be eliminated after the time runs out. Everyone hesitates. Fear grips the players, and no one steps forward. Gi-hun asks Yunia to rest on a bench and notices her leg is in worse condition. She won't be able to jump. Still, Gi-hun assures her, "I'll find a way to get you across." Nam-kyu, suffering from withdrawal, begins to lose control. Min-soo shows him a locket. Desperate, Nam-kyu tries to snatch it, but Min-soo throws it onto the track. Nam-kyu steps out and successfully jumps across to reach it. But when he opens the locket, it's empty. There are no drugs inside. Distracted, he gets struck by the rope and plunges into the pit below. Seeing this, Yunia tells Gi-hun, "To save my baby." She wraps the child in her jacket and hands her over. Gi-hun ties the baby to his chest, saying he'll return for player 222 afterward. She tells him he doesn't have to, but he insists she can't do it alone with her leg. The VIPs watch in disbelief. Gi-hun successfully jumps the rope. He stands in front of the bridge. After trying many times, finally and clears the bridge, baby in arms. And everyone's attention is on him. Player 333 watches intently. After placing the baby on a bench, only 12 minutes remain. Gi-hun wants to return, but other players have already begun crossing. Player 096 makes it. Another nearly does too, but then a man pushes the one who just arrived off the platform and blocks the path. Player 096 waits at the far end, shoving anyone who nears him off the bridge. He proposes a deal to Gi-hun. Just the two of them survive, vote to end the game, and split the winnings. He kills another player to show he's serious. Player 100 is next to cross. As fear and chaos spread, players begin falling. He tries bargaining with player 096, offering to help him push others off in exchange for safe passage. Meanwhile, player 349 tries to retreat, causing the person behind her to fall. She makes it back, only to be kicked off by player 203. Elsewhere, player 125 takes the final pill from Thanos' necklace. Gi-hun confronts player 096, threatening to push him if he doesn't move. Eventually, player 096 steps aside, and player 100 crosses. Only 7 minutes remain on the clock. Player 333 offers help to player 222, but she refuses. She accuses him of killing player 120, who had been helping her. Player 333 defends himself, saying he misunderstood and was trying to protect her. She shows her swollen ankle and tells him the baby is hers alone, then sends him away. As Gi-hun helps others, player 096 attacks. They fight near the platform edge until Gi-hun tosses him into the swinging rope, knocking him off the bridge. 3 minutes remain. Player 125 begins hallucinating. Player 222 limps toward the edge. Gi-hun begs her to wait. 1 minute remain. He'll come back. When Gi-hun is ready to come and save her, but there are only a few seconds left until the game over. And then she tells him to stop, saying that if he dies, her baby dies too. She wants her child to survive. She sacrifices herself, stepping off the edge. And here's this game end. The guards scan one another before deployment. Guards 11 and 16 are cleared for perimeter duty, while the supervisor orders pursuit teams to stand by. In the main room, the surviving players return. The VIPs argue over whether to eliminate the baby, but frontman decides she qualifies. She crossed the bridge and will continue as player 222 to increase suspense. Player 336 and player 353 calculate that with 8 survivors, the prize pool would be 5.6 billion won each. But player 100 still owes 10 billion and refuses to quit. The guards announce 16 players eliminated, 9 remain. The players are confused. Shouldn't there be 8? The guards count the baby as a player. Some attempt to take her share, but a warning shot is fired. Violence is banned. Each remaining player is rewarded with a special box for making it to the final round. The outside world. Investigation deepens. At the police station, Woo-suk is interrogated. He claims Captain Park is involved in the island's operations and shows a photo of the recruiter who shot his boss. The officer dismisses him, citing Woo-suk's criminal past. On the boat, Jun-ho remembers accessing the island through an underwater tunnel. He begins narrowing down the island's location. Back at the station, the officer secretly calls Park. Woo-suk pleads for a lawyer. Park denies knowing him. Woo-suk screams, trying to expose the truth. Later, Park is informed his dog was killed. When Jun-ho questions him, Park lies. Woo-suk steals the officer's phone and escapes. Park then radios Boat 2, ordering everyone killed. They've been compromised. He opens fire, killing most of the crew. Jun-ho hides and later ambushes Park with a spear. Before dying, Park confesses he was ordered to protect Jun-ho, but never reveals the island's location. The final round approaches. The players attend a formal dinner in suits. Even the baby gets a bottle. The VIPs are concerned some players might quit, but frontman has a plan. A twist is revealed. Players can vote to eliminate others. If 3 or more are voted out, the rest can leave with the prize. The vote begins in reverse order. Gi-hun votes to leave. The baby's vote is void. All others, except player 125, vote to stay. The final game is confirmed. The VIPs are ecstatic. Frontman keeps the game a secret. Rebellion in motion on the boat. Guard 11 saves a teammate and warns her that her daughter is in danger. She jumps into the sea and urges Guard 16 to reach land and call for help. The pursuit team is ordered to shoot them both. In the game facility, Gi-hun is secretly taken to frontman. Meanwhile, Guard 11 climbs a cliff and sneaks in through a hidden vent. In a private meeting, frontman warns Gi-hun that the others want him and the baby gone. He hands him a knife to protect himself. Gi-hun demands to know why. Frontman removes his mask. He's player 001. He apologizes for the past and offers Gi-hun the chance to kill him. Gi-hun takes the knife but refuses to use it. He points out that if he kills the others in their sleep, only he and the baby will remain, not enough to play the final game. That would end the whole event. Frontman agrees and gives his word to stop the killing. As Gi-hun walks away, Frontman asks if he still believes in people. Gi-hun says nothing and keeps walking. Guard 11 reaches the side vent by the cliff. She fires her gun, stopping the fan and crawling inside. Meanwhile, Gi-hun returns to the main hall, holding a knife to player 100's throat. Suddenly, we cut to a flashback. The frontman, once known as player 132, sits before a mysterious owl-masked figure. The masked man hands him a knife, ordering him to eliminate the remaining players, just as he now expects Gi-hun to do. We see how player 132 followed those orders and killed everyone. But Gi-hun can't. Instead, he imagines player 167, reminding him he's still a good person. Back in events, Guard 11 crawls through the tunnel. At the same time, player 246 tries to escape the island by boat under thick fog. Nearby, Jun-ho pilots a second boat. A voice crackles over the radio. It's the front man, his brother, warning Jun-ho to stop searching for the games or it will cost him his life. Inside the facility, players begin waking up. They're told the final game is about to begin. Guard 11 climbs onto a rooftop apartment, hears a shower, and hides just as the officer inside turns off the water. The final 8 contestants climb the stairwell. Meanwhile, Guard 11 confronts the officer. He asks if she came alone. She lies, claiming she disobeyed orders and didn't bring back player 246. She demands the deletion of player 240's IXS file. He complies, but says his memory is a liability too. Just as she's about to kill him, he reveals that physical records are stored in the archives, accessible only to him and the frontman. The players reach the final game arena, 3 giant pillars shaped like a triangle, circle, and square. Guard 11 forces the officer to take her to the frontman's office. Inside the elevator, he attacks her. They fight violently into the office. Meanwhile, the contestants step onto a yellow platform. The VIPs watch eagerly as the announcer reveals the game, Squid Game. During the fight, the officer asks Guard 11 why she's doing this. He recalls her working with player 246 at an amusement park. She reveals that player 240's IXS daughter will die if he doesn't survive. He accuses her of hypocrisy, bringing up the child she abandoned. Then he stabs her. As she bleeds, he powers on the monitors so she can witness the game. He claims she's just like him. As she crawls away, he follows with a knife, but she opens the elevator door, grabs a gun, and kills him. The players are told the rules: 3 rounds, 1 per pillar. In each, someone must be pushed off. If no one dies, everyone is eliminated. The discussion turns to sacrifices. Player 125 begins hallucinating, seeing Thanos hanging from the edge offering pills. The vision shifts between Thanos and player 124, both begging for help. Player 125 resists the hallucinations. With a 15-minute countdown starting, player 100 suggests 1 sacrifice per round. The debate begins. Someone has sacrificed the baby. Player 222. Others nominate Gi-hun. Some suggest pushing both to save a rest. Suddenly, player 333 pushes player 125 off the platform, haunted by visions of a lost friend. The group praises him. Meanwhile, Guard 11 finds Commander O's corpse and retrieves the owl mask. She finds the archive room filled with hard copy records. The group turns on itself in the arena. A bridge appears between the square and triangle pillars. The VIPs discuss whether Gi-hun will protect the baby. Player 333 stops player 100 from starting the timer. The group agrees the baby must go next. Player 353 urges Gi-hun to attach the baby to the pole. Gi-hun refuses and threatens to push player 353 instead. Suddenly, player 203 activates the 15-minute countdown. A tug-of-war erupts over the pole. Player 333 suggests another plan. Meanwhile, Guard 11 finds player 240's XS file, just as his boat is shot and disabled. The contestants try rock, paper, scissors to decide the next action. Players 100 and 336 lose. In a final match, player 336 is chosen to grab the baby. They tie jackets to him for safety. Player 333 tells him if he fails, pull both Gi-hun and the baby toward the center. Player 336 approaches Gi-hun and proposes drawing lots using cloth strips. Gi-hun insists the lots be brought to him. Suddenly, player 336 lunges. As the group pulls, Gi-hun draws his knife and cuts himself free, turning the blade on player 336. Player 333 charges with a pole and knocks player 336 off. He tells Gi-hun he's on his side. The others decide to use the lot drawing method, but they accuse player 333 of betrayal. He admits he's the baby's father. The VIPs are thrilled. Chaos erupts. The group turns on player 039, breaking his leg to eliminate him later. Gi-hun pleads with them to stop. A fight breaks out over weapons. Player 203 attacks Gi-hun with a knife. In the chaos, player 333 throws player 353 off, and Gi-hun kills player 203. The baby, left on the ground, begins crying. Now only player 100 and player 309 remain on the opposing pillar. Player 100 begs for his life. Player 333 reminds him they get 15.2 billion won each, then pushes him off. Player 309, crawling to the edge, refuses to stop. He jumps. Now, only player 333, Gi-hun, and the baby remain. One more pillar, one more fall. The final round awaits. Jun-ho boards player 240 SAXS boat after eliminating the guards chasing them. Since player 246 is still disguised as a guard, Jun-ho initially points a gun at him. But when player 246 quickly explains everything, Jun-ho uses his scanner, confirming he's a player. Jun-ho demands he show him the game's location. Through the fog, 246 points to a distant island. Back at the game, final round begins in the arena. Player 333 checks on Gi-hun, asking if the baby is alright. Gi-hun confirms she is. They're instructed to proceed to the final round. Crossing the bridge, player 333 reaches the platform first. He picks up the pole and tells Gi-hun, still on the other side, to hand over the baby and stay behind. Gi-hun protests. That would force 333 to kill either himself or the child. 333 says he understands. Gi-hun has 5 minutes to cross. Meanwhile, a guard alerts the front man about a breach, pulling him from the VIP lounge. In the front man's office, a wounded guard 11 pours alcohol over the archive files and sets them ablaze. Just before leaving, she notices a drawer labeled lists and opens it. Back on the bridge, player 333 again demands the baby. Gi-hun warns him. If neither he nor the baby crosses, they both lose. 333 simply replies, "Maybe we should all die." On the water and under the island, radar picks up Jun-ho's incoming vessel. He alerts his team. The Coast Guard is en route. While player 246 is treated, Jun-ho dons a diving suit, ready to infiltrate alone. On the bridge, Gi-hun promises to sacrifice himself to save the baby. Player 333 doubts him, accusing him of conspiring with player 222. Elsewhere, guard 11 flips through the lists. She finds her own file. It reveals she was a North Korean defector, once a performer at an amusement park. Her husband was executed, and her daughter declared dead. On the bridge, Gi-hun places the baby down. With 40 seconds left, 333 uses the pole to pull the child over. As he's distracted, Gi-hun grabs a knife from a fallen player, the same one given to him by frontman. The bridge begins retracting. Gi-hun leaps across. A fight breaks out. The knife is knocked away. The final round button rises. The pole is thrown off the edge. Gi-hun recovers the knife, but player 333 now holds the baby, threatening to drop her unless Gi-hun backs off. Gi-hun drops the knife. As Gi-hun steps back, 333 puts down the child, but lunges with the knife, slashing Gi-hun's side and arm. But Gi-hun had wrapped his jacket around his arm for protection. They both fall off the edge. Gi-hun grabs the platform, holding on, with player 333 hanging from his jacket. As the jacket tears, 333 slips and falls to his death. Gi-hun climbs up with the baby, realizing the button was never pressed. Collapse of the game, the Coast Guard finally arrives, but high above, a drone watches from the island. Jun-ho reaches the underwater entrance. In Frontman's office, Guard 11 holds a gun to her head, but hears the baby crying through a monitor. She stops. Back in the arena, Gi-hun presses the final button. A 10-minute countdown begins. With 3 minutes left, Gi-hun stands at the edge, the baby in his arms. Tears fall. He places the baby down, then throws himself off, ending his life. The game is over. Everyone gets emotional after seeing this. And without doing anything, the baby won the game. Aftermath. The fall of the island, an officer tells Frontman that the Coast Guard is closing in. He initiates evacuation, triggering a 30-minute self-destruct timer. Jun-ho climbs a ladder and finds a bomb wired to the wall, synced with the countdown. Guard 11 puts on a stolen officer's mask and uses it to access the elevator. Frontman visits Gi-hun's body. Jun-ho reaches the office, sees the baby on screen, and shoots the monitor, revealing a hidden passage. Inside, he finds a VIP room and spots Frontman standing on a platform, holding the baby. Jun-ho yells at In-ho, his brother, asking why he did this. In-ho says nothing, descending in the elevator. Helicopters and vehicles evacuate the island. Guard 11, wounded, escapes in a car. With 30 seconds remaining, the island is deserted. Then it explodes. 6 months later, in a dark corridor, a figure shoots open a door. It's the Pink Motel, Gi-hun's hideout. His winnings remain untouched. At an amusement park, player 246 is once again sketching portraits. A woman approaches. It's Guard 11. He says she looks familiar. She quietly admits she once worked there. His daughter runs over. Guard 11 greets her warmly. He asks how she knows his daughter. She says, from the park, and leaves, promising to return. In her car, she receives a call from Park Man-cheol, her contact from South Men, North Women. He says there's an unconfirmed sighting in China, possibly her daughter. At a prison, Woo-suk is released. Jun-ho and a friend pick him up. Woo-suk asks what's next. Jun-ho says he's no longer a detective. Woo-suk jokes they can't be loan sharks without money. He asks if Gi-hun's fortune is really gone. Jun-ho says the account was empty. Woo-suk wonders if Gi-hun took it, unaware he died. When Jun-ho gets home, he finds a baby, now wearing player 222's jacket. Next to her, a black envelope tied with a red ribbon. Inside, a bank card in Jun-ho's name. At the ATM, he enters the PIN, 0222. It works. The balance, 45.6 billion Korean wons. News cycles at an airport. Park Man-cheol welcomes a woman, Sebayok's mother. Her son, Cheol, stands beside his adoptive grandmother. They're reunited at last. Park looks up and sees Guard 11 boarding an escalator on her way to China. He confirms with her on the phone. She says she's already at the airport. He promises someone will meet her and wishes her luck. At the Pink Motel, Woo-suk and his friend begin renovations, declaring themselves the new owners. They still wonder who took the money. In Los Angeles, a man in a suit rings a doorbell. A young girl answers, Ji-young, Gi-hun's daughter. It's Frontman. He introduces himself as a friend of her father. He gives her a box with the game symbols. She asks if it's from her dad and says, tell him I stopped waiting. He replies, your father's dead. Inside the box is Gi-hun's jacket and another black envelope addressed to her. Inside, a bank card. As Frontman drives away, he hears a familiar sound. In a nearby alley, a woman in a suit, Cate Blanchett, is playing Dakji with a man. She wins. She slaps him. She sees Frontman watching and smiles. The man says, let's play again. And the cycle begins once more.